Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's Dave. It is Monday, January. Yeah, I got that correct. I wanted to make sure it was correct. January 20th, 2018. Happy Martin Luther King Day. It is Martin Luther King Day. And I hope you got out there and did something awesome, fantastic. If you didn't, you still got time. So there's still plenty of things you can do. You don't necessarily have to get out there to do them, but you can do them. So get out there and do it if you haven't done so already. So again, it is Martin Luther King Day 2020. It's the first major holiday after New Year's Day, and the first one of 2020, and what a great way to start it. So awesome. Alrighty, so it's Monday, and I'm back here at it again. An awesome weekend of sports. It culminated last night with the NFC AFC Championship, and already today there's some new fallout from all of that, the football season fallout. But that's all right. That's all right. You saw who I was rooting for. There you go. But it was not to be, but that's okay. That's okay. It's just the way it goes. So today we're talking about seizing the opportunity, and one quarterback yesterday seized the opportunity, and that was Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. They were in a situation where they needed to score. They really, truly needed to score. The Tennessee Titans at this point were putting it to the Kansas City Chiefs. And it just, things look kind of bad as a Chiefs fan, or I was rooting for the Chiefs. I was just kind of down about that whole thing. But at one point, they were getting close. They were just, making, 5-10 yard passes, and they were getting closer and closer. I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. At one point, they got close. The quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, got the ball, snapped. It looked like it was going to be a pass. He stepped back maybe 2-3 steps, moved over to the left, and saw that all of his men were covered. Everybody was covered. He didn't know he couldn't throw it. He couldn't throw it. There was people in the end zone. There were people just shy of the end zone. He starts running. He decides, he makes a decision. He sticks to it. He runs, and he goes. He breaks 4 tackles, and he makes it into the end zone. Touchdown. Awesome, fantastic. And then eventually, the Kansas City Chiefs went on to win the game. All right. That being said. So what happened? Well, one of it, he stuck to it. He looked at the situation. He seized the opportunity. He had his head on a swivel. He saw he could not make a play. He decided, I'm going to run. Now, if you've seen quarterbacks run, if you know anything about American football, quarterbacks typically are told not to run. It's a great way to break your leg. And you break your leg, it's a great way to lose your starting position. And so that being said, he decided to run. And this guy's been a running quarterback his entire career there at Kansas City, and he's been doing pretty good, but he picks and chooses when he's going to run. Now, most quarterbacks will run maybe 4 or 5 yards, possibly just cross the line that they need to get that first down, and they'll slide in. Great, fantastic. Some of them will run out of bounds, aka Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers quarterback, and he'll run out of bounds, but he knows he can when he can do it, and they all do. They all know when they can do it. Just there are some times when you've got to just, stick to it and say, hey, look, this is it. Say to yourself, because you really can't consult anybody out there in the playing field. Once that ball is snapped, those 11 individuals on the other side, on the defensive side of the game, they're coming for you, and they're going to come to hurt you. So he stuck to it. He looked up. He had his head on a swivel. Sorry about that. He observed that everybody was covered. He seized the opportunity. He took advantage of the moment. He was in the moment. And he took off running. He didn't hesitate. He observed. He oriented himself. He decided, and he acted. So he observed that everybody was covered. He oriented himself to put himself in a position that, hey, yes, I could do it. He started running. He didn't run for the 5 or 6 yards. He ran for the end zone. And then he acted on it, and he made it happen. He visualized. He saw what was going to happen. He saw what was going on. Nothing stopped him. The first guy that was after him looked like he pretty much was going to trip him up. That didn't happen. Then as he was chugging along, he had another one and missed the tackle. And then 2, just kind of at the last second, it was a little bit too late. Too little, too late. And he scored the touchdown. It was awesome. It was fantastic. But what does this go? What does this say? Well, folks, this is about making something out of nothing. Everybody was covered. He could have just maybe run a couple of yards or run out of bounds to stop the clock, whatever he needed to do. But that wasn't the case. He made something out of nothing because he observed. He had his head on a swivel. He decided to go for it. He made the decision. He executed. And folks, that's how you win games. That's how you win. That is how you win. You observe. So let's look at the aspects and insight and break this down just a little bit. The aspects and insight on the leadership side of things. Well, folks, The head coach ideally probably was not too thrilled, but again, the head coach, this is a one and done. Either you win it, you move on, or you're done. And that's it, you're done. There's no more games to play after this. So everybody's dropping out. It's a tournament, and the loser doesn't get a consolatory round, and he just goes home, and that's it. So the Kansas City Chiefs were already playing at home. They didn't want to stay home. They wanted to go to Miami to play in Super Bowl 54. So again, the leadership side of things is when you can see the opportunity, you take it. When you can seize the moment, you take it. When you've got it all and you can make those quick snap decisions without hesitation and you can visualize the destination, you take it. So this ties right into the employees, to the individual, to you. Is don't waste your time looking for permission. Sometimes you have to act. Sometimes you have to act, especially when the game's online. You've got to do what you can to get points on the score. You've got to win at all costs. And if it looks good and you have the abilities and you know yourself better than anybody else, then you execute. You decide, you observe, you make it happen, and you win. But you can't fail yourself. And once you start, you can't second guess yourself, because that's how you get hurt. That's how he would have gotten hurt if he had hesitated, gotten himself into something he couldn't get himself out of. But he knew and he visualized and he saw where he was going. And that's how winners are made. So can you train this? Yes, you can train this. Yes, this can be trained. You simulate all preseason long. They practice. Last week to this final weekend for them, they practiced every single day. They didn't take a day off. They saw game film. They were training. They were simulating. They were trying to figure this out. And what could he do in those moments, in those situations when there was too much coverage? He trained for it. He's practiced for it. He's trained for it since the day he started playing Pee Wee football, high school football, college football, now professional football. And the same thing goes for you. Can you do these things? Yes. If you practice, yes, you can. You can simulate the bad things. And sometimes you have to put yourself in a bad situation just to figure out what you're going to do. But it's when you don't, when you just leap and don't accept responsibility, when you don't say, hey, I'm just going to do it just for the heck of it, but you have no understanding of what's going to happen, and you could not care at all. Well, guess what? You get exactly what you deserve, because again, you haven't prepared for it. You don't know what it's going to be like. You can only simulate it. But if you don't even bother to simulate, if you don't even bother to stop and think, hey, wait a minute. Yes, I need to take the initiative. Yes, I see I can do this, but what's the negative side of things? But sometimes, yes, I understand you can't hesitate. You can't do anything but just act, and you have limited time to act. Well, guess what? You got to take that chance. You got to roll the dice and take that chance. So what does that mean? Yes, practice it. That's all it is. Just practice it. You start building your confidence that way. The sector leadership, sector employees, sector training. Folks, this is across the board. In the NFL, this is across the board. Everybody starts training in June. Everybody starts training. And guess what? The Tennessee Titans, the Green Bay Packers, they're starting to train today, because next season begins today for them. That's right. So the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs have to wait 2 more Sundays. Excuse me. But then it begins for them. Then the next season begins for them. Yeah, so what if one of them's going to win? Whoever the winner is, it doesn't matter. Everybody's gunning for that title. Again, everything resets. So understand that, excuse me, oh my, you have to work at it. You have to practice it. Sorry about that. So with that comes training, heartache, practicing. But yes, you can practice about being observant. Yes, you can practice at keeping your head on a swivel. Yes, you can even practice in being in the moment. And you most definitely can practice on making something out of nothing. But again, the entire sector, in this case, the entire NFL does that. Why can't you? In what you do every day. Folks, something's in the air, something's stirring it up. I want to thank you for watching. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Have a good one.